someone get the door for me in the back? We're going to go ahead and get started. This is our 7th FSTS class. We've got 4 more this year. We got 2 on days and 2 on nights. We've put approximately 200 and some students through already. We still have 4 classes, and we're pretty much caught up. This time last year, we were looking at about 150 to get through. So we've made up some good ground. There was some attrition there also, but we've made up some good ground and catching up by you guys getting people into class on time and helping us out. That really helps keep us afloat with planning, because when we get so far behind, we're squeezing 30, 32 people in the class, and it's just not conducive to the learning and the activities that we have. So I thank you for keeping up with this. I want to welcome everybody to the graduation. My name is Melvin Lewis. I'm the lead instructor. We also have Laura Morris and our boss, Dave Dobb, who he's not here right now. We make up the FSTS staff. We do a lot for the investment of these students, and we hope that you guys, when they get back out there, invest in these guys, because by far this is I've been in here 17 months, and this is the best class to date. So give them a round of applause. They did an absolutely fabulous job. Usually it takes about 4 or 5 days before the team to gel, and these guys gelled after day 2, which is amazing. And not only did we put them in silos and groups for a reason, so they can gel and cross network, but they gelled as a class. So I commend you guys. Now, with that comes lofty expectations. So when you go back out to your sort, your management team is going to expect the same results when you leave here, because all we did for 13 days is give you information. We facilitated the information to you. Now you got to do something with it. So I want you to look around the room. We'll have everybody introduce themselves, what area, length of service, and you can see the support that you have when you get back to your operation. We'll start with Lauren.
Lauren Bond, North Core, Building 2, 7 years.
Rob Steimer, Import, Next Air Operations, 21 years.
Jeff Brewer, South Core Export, South Sea, 15 years.
Mike Sowers, International, 15 years.
Dave Bargay, the Next Main Fueling Department, 32 years.
Danny King, 15 years, Next Day Fueling.
Joe Mays, Small Sort Secondary Frontline Solution, 2 years.
Tyler Burton, Small Sort Outbound, 15 years.
Scott Knowles, Small Sort Outbound, 33 years.
David Cooper, Wing C Ram, 25 years.
Moody, Wing C Outbound, 10 years.
Mayor K. Craft, Wheat Delta, 18 years.
Bob Wood, Court, 37 years.
Lee Bird, 13 years, cargo.
Amy Love, 23 years, Ray.
Joe Elster, 14 years, Ray. Shane Armstrong, 19 years, 911 Ray.
Amber Dunn, Grayling Shed, 20 years. Pamela Lund, Human Resources, 31.5 years, retiring in 60-60.
Josh Dillender, 14 years, Ramses.
Tim McElroy, Revenue Recovery Finance, 32 years.
John Stoner, Revenue Recovery, 29 years.
Mark Riley, Wing B Unload, 17 years.
Tiffany Ryan's, Hub Training, 19 years.
Shantae Shaver, Winky, Hope Red, 19 years.
So as you can see, we got a lot of years of experience in here. And this room is not even full. We're missing about 20, 30 more people. So you can see, when you get back to your operation, there's a lot of knowledge you can lean on. And please do push. Remember I told you push-pull? Push on these guys to give you the information. Nobody's gonna walk up to you and go, hi, I'm information. You gotta go get it. You gotta go get it. And just like you pushed the speakers and myself and Laura in the class, that's what you should do out here. We did a couple new things this class. I want to recognize 4 people, and I need help with this in the future classes. So what we wanted to do is we wanted to integrate the full-time soups back into the class. So we had role plays at the beginning of class every day. It was an experiment. It went very well. And those people that helped me out, Chris Harris, Amber Nunn, Jeremy Bale, and Kevin Butler. Give them a round of applause because they were wonderful. And any other full-time soups or managers that want to come in and help out with those role plays in August, because our next night class is in August, let me know. because it does help. It's almost like you're giving back to the full-time, to the frontline students. Next, I want to thank all the presenters that came out. We had 15 presenters, 25 DOs or presentations, and they were wonderful. I can't stress how much information that these folks get in, really it's 12 days. I say 13 because one day is a day of a volunteer day. They get a lot of information. So with that being said, I got a little presentation I want to give. Back when I was a little kid, a couple weeks ago, I wanted to be a painter, right? I wanted to be this guy that could paint. I had a friend that could draw, and I like colors. I like to paint. He couldn't paint, so I would fill all his drawings in. I was probably 12 years old. And back when I was growing up on TV, there was this guy that came on. He came on for 11 years. I only had 3 channels. I had ABC, NBC, CBS, and then PBS. Everybody's been around a long time. The Electric Company. I can't even think of it. Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Sesame Street, and then this one guy came on. Anybody know who that is?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. For 11 years, I watched Bob Ross after Sesame Street, and he was a happy painter.
Yes.
And I wanted to emulate Bob Ross because I watched him day in and day out. And for 11 years, I'm like, I'm gonna be that happy painter. The thing here was, I didn't know where to start. So after watching him over and over again, he came out with this, the Bob Ross Painter Starter Kit. So I'm like 13 years old, I'm ecstatic, I'm telling moms, pops, they were like, no way, you have no skills whatsoever, but I want to be a painter, I want to do this, I see it every day. And then, lo and behold, you can make 3 easy payments of $19.99 and you can have Bob Ross paint kit. So I went to Gramps. I said, Gramps, I need to have this. Of course I got it. I got it one Christmas. It was a nice, big old box. And at Christmas, you open all the big stuff, right? You open Big Wheel. Back then I had a green machine, sorry. We had other things. Then I got to this box and I opened it halfway and I saw that. And I thought to myself, it's all right, it was nice. And I sat it to the side. Here's why I bring this up. I found that box 5 years ago in my storage unit. Still ripped just in half where I left it. I never became that painter. Why didn't I become that painter? I never tried. It looked good because I saw it every day on TV. I saw it every single day. But let me tell you this, FSTS, what you learned for the last 13 days, don't treat it like I treated old Bob Ross here. You gotta pull that stuff out, you gotta use it. It's like a practice. We don't call it a practice, but those around in the room know over the last 20 odd years, 30 years, some things they did right, they learned from it, and they made sure they corrected it the next time. That's a practice. That's what doctors, dentists, lawyers, people do. So you're in practice. I'm not telling you Monday, jump out there at 100,000 miles an hour. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you pull something out, practice on it, use it. Because the way you get better is practicing. I never became a painter. Sorry about that, but I can tell you this. Now, every time I think about that, I think about, okay, if I'm gonna give it, I'm gonna give it 100%. So with that, that's my little tidbit for parting gifts for you guys when y'all leave. We're gonna show everybody how much fun we had with the learning and the activities.
I am the future of UPS. I'm the future of UPS.
We are the future of UPS.
Give yourself a round of applause. We had some fun. Some would say we had a little bit too much fun, but we did learn in the process. If I'm not mistaken, we had a total of 19 people that got hundreds on the test. That has never happened. So once again, give yourself a round of applause. Like I said, you set the bar very high for yourselves and for other classes. So now I'm gonna turn things over to Laura. She's gonna do all the fun awards.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming tonight. We've had a good 3 weeks. Like you said, this class has been very fun. They've been very engaged. From the video you see, we've done a lot of fun things, but we've also had a lot of presentations, a lot of people giving you information. I know it's a lot to take in, but use what you've learned. Go back and be different. Go back and be that supervisor that we all know you can be. Take the information, take the contacts that you've made, and go back and be the leader for your people. So with that, I want to do some of the fun awards. So first, our Knowledge Bee, they're kind of our final test review. They all stand up and they get to answer questions from the test. And the last one standing is the winner. I will give this class kudos. We ask test questions first, then we go to bonus questions. I've never had a class where I got through all the test questions and all the students were still standing. But every student here was still standing at the end of all the test questions. So I'm very proud of you all. Y'all did a really great job at that. Then we went to the bonus questions, and that always knocks people out. So from this class, there was actually a tie. So first, from the one-day freight facility, Mod V Load, Hannah Garrett. And from the one-day Wing C Outbound, Pierce Ames. Next, our competition team, like Melvin said, we put them in groups at the beginning of class. They're from different areas, they don't know one another. And throughout the 3 weeks, we give them different activities to do. Some are team activities, some are individual. Their PCMs count, their test scores count. the fun activities, all the review games. So from this class, it was very close. I think it was 500 points determined the winner. And it was team worldwide, so I'll call your names. First, from one day grade lane shift, Liz Farrell. One day wing delta outbound, Matthew Turner. One day South Core C, Sonny Foreman. And one day building 2, Jacob Watkins. Good job, guys. The last award is our legacy speaker. As you know, each class, they choose someone in the class they feel is a leader. Over the 3 weeks, they get many opportunities to speak, whether through policies or legacies, through role plays, or question answer times or discussions, and they get to hear one another, and they pick someone who they feel is a leader they want to represent them today and give the final legacy. From this class, from one day wing E outbound, Kelsey Wright.
Thank you, Laura. As you all can see, I'm going to be a much better speaker than I was a dancer in that video, I promise. Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for being with us and showing your support tonight. I've selected excerpts from our legacy book to share with you. In the long journey to date, the most important discovery I made was that one that I came upon early. I found that I could not hope to accomplish anything worthwhile alone. That is not to say that I have lacked self-reliance, but self-reliance and a sincere desire to give full value to the opinions of others have given me confidence that anything jointly decided upon would be successful. When a basic principle is developed by logical thinking, sponsored by integrity and clearly defined, faith in the proposition is almost sure to follow. And where faith is strong enough, almost anything seems possible. Complete faith in certain definite principles is the very foundation of our business, United Parcel Service. Most of the principles, which we like to refer to as company policies, were slowly developed. It is hard to pinpoint at any one of them as the product of a single mind. In fact, some of them are now basic policies are the result of hundreds of hours of thinking and discussions among dozens of people. Who will the leaders be? They will be individuals who now, today, are forging ahead, not spectacularly or with fanfare, but modestly and quietly. They are plain, simple people who are doing their best on their present jobs with us, whatever those jobs happen to be. Such people will not fail when we are called for bigger things. It is for them, our successors, to remember that all the glamour, romance, and success of our business at any stage of existence must be the product of years resulting from the work of many devoted people. And there can be no glamour, no romance, no truly great success unless shared in by all. And that leads me to one of the most important messages which I can give you tonight. If you who now occupy positions halfway up the ladder can understand how hard it is to find people who can make the rest of the climb, you will put yourself through a strict course of training and mental discipline, which will condition you to climb the rest of the way. And if, while you are building yourself up, you will try to search out and build up the capable people under you, if you will help them up those lower rungs of the ladder vacated by you, you will have accomplished one of the prime objectives of these conferences. We are trying to build people. There are opportunities ahead for those who are made of good stuff. Throughout these past 3 weeks, my fellow FSTS supervisors and I have learned an abundant amount of meaningful information from the history of our company to the breakdown of the fundamentals of our job as management members. We have had many knowledgeable speakers who taught us various components of what makes a leader through their presentations, activities, and their semi-stressful role plays. These presenters shared their knowledge with us so that we may be better equipped if and when the time comes to apply what has been taught and practiced outside the FSTS classroom walls. There was something to realize through each individual lesson and discussion. Each one of these presenters did not share their knowledge with us out of hopes to get recognized here tonight or later on, but instead to strengthen us as UPS frontline supervisors. We are a team as a whole, no matter the position you hold in the company. As the one of the excerpts I selected illustrated, there is a ladder of achievement in management, and everyone must fill the lower rungs as they continue to climb. Positions must be filled, and to do that, we must have people to fill them. People drive UPS, and that has been a constant factor in all we do since our founding in 1907. Without people, we would not have customers. Without customers, we would not have the business. During his discussion with us last night, Jason Foote mentioned something that resonated with me. Our shell is empty without our people. As many of you have experienced before, there's a true emptiness in these buildings without the loudness of the operation. These buildings hold nothing but miles of conveyor belts and metal parts if there are no people to fill them. If you arrive in the time of this quietness, there is a truth to be heard. Throughout what we may experience during our night-to-night operation, we each contribute in bringing a package to our customers throughout the world. From simple things like a few bottles of hot sauce you bought on Amazon to life-changing experiences such as kidneys, surgical equipment, and medicine. These life-altering products would not be delivered without each one of us in this room and our people in the buildings that surround us. Our in-class discussions with one another have revealed our first intentions of coming to work for UPS. Many of our speakers have shared their original plan when they began working here, most mentioning they never thought they would be where they are today 5, 10, 15, and even 20 plus years ago. Each one of us has a story of what got us here and how their original plan may have gone off script at some point or another. Upon learning each person's story of how long, where they have been in the company, I wondered what made them stay. I looked upon myself to ask the same question, and then I put myself in my employees' shoes. Who have they come across that made them feel like they bleed brown? Who has held them to their highest standard, celebrated their accomplishments, and recognized their contributions to the work group? Each one of us has a heavy responsibility as management personnel, and it is to take care of our people. For us as frontline supervisors, that means more than being a supervisor, but to be a true leader. We must keep our people accountable and care for each and every one of them. In doing so, they stay safe as they carry on their duties and roles here as employees, while also feeling a sense of accomplishment in themselves and their work, and pride in what UPS has to offer. Good management is your worthiness to have and hold the confidence with others, as Jim Casey put it. From readings from our company policy book and legacy book, I have realized that the people that make up our company held a high place for our founders. As I look upon those who sit at this table and the management I have had the honor of meeting, I see this value reflected in those most caring and successful. I hope that each one of us takes what we learned the past 3 weeks and applies it efficiently to the nightly operation. I hope we keep ourselves accountable and find those who will help along the way. Even if we do fail, we take a step back and question what could have been done differently. We ask for help from others around us and come up with a solution that is most effective and sensible. And if not, we try again. We keep this process going, never being closed-minded of who to ask or what to try. I hope that even on our hard nights, we keep the people who make up UPS in mind and in our actions. As Jim Casey said it best, determined people working together can do anything. Thank you.
Nice job, Kelsey. Thank you. All right, with that, we'll go ahead and start graduation. Kevin.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Kevin Haley. I work in Small Sort Central Outbound. I work with Jeff Sorota, Micromet, and Scott Minogue. What I'm really going to take away from FSTS is building relationships with your employees. Within all the speakers we've had over the past 2 weeks, I noticed a trend. Knowing your employees are almost as important as the sort we run every night. Not only does it improve morale within the workplace, but you also get to know your employees' aspirations, achievements, and goals they want to reach. This gives you the opportunity to promote from within and build a better workplace environment. They say being a frontline supervisor is the most important job here at UPS. However, without our employees, we're jobless, the store doesn't run, and the packages don't get delivered. Thank you.
Tasia, she got a perfect PCM and a perfect test score.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Montasia Brown. I work in Wing Echoes Inbound. I work with Dave Delph, Shantez Shaver, and John McSwain. One of the many things that I'm going to take away from FSTS is the investment that we put in our people. Just like I was invested in through Jen Peterson, and I'm currently being invested in by John McSwain. Without that investment, we cannot grow our people. And that's one of the main things that I personally value, and that was reinforced through FSTS, is the development of our people. So just as I was invested in and I'm now able to grow in the position that I'm in, I hope to return that to my employees so that they can take my position as I further my career, so that they can begin to further their careers as well. Thank you.
Courtney, she got a perfect test score.
Good evening, my name is Courtney Campshafer. I work next day in Wing Echo on Posse 3 South. I work with David Delph, Shantez Shaver, Chase White, and Jen Peterson. The one thing that I learned from FSTS is building relationships, and not just with my employees or with my fellow coworkers, but throughout the building and throughout the district. Because no matter what, we can all help each other out. And we're just one big team with the same goal in mind. Thank you.
Hannah, she got a perfect PCM, a perfect test score, and she was the Knowledge Bee winner.
Good evening. My name is Hannah Garrett. I work in the freight facility. I'm a load supervisor. I work alongside with Nancy Bottoms, Joe Elsner, and Amy Loudon. What I'm taking from FSTS is a new sense of pride for my work and the employees that I work with, and building them up every night just so that they can do a great job.
Lauren, she got a perfect test score.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lauren Chapman. I work in Wing C on the ramp. I work with Dave Delph, Andy Hutfinger, and David Cooper. FSTS has really helped me to be less shy and really get out of my comfort zone. It shows me how important networking is, and it has enlightened me on how much this company has to offer. The opportunities are endless. Thank you.
Chris, he got a perfect test score.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Bates. I work in Next Day South Core Unload and Bank 4 Low. I work with Jeff Sirota, Bob Wood, and Tim Smith. And the main thing I took away from FSTS is always willing to take the initiative. One thing I've noted on all our keynote speakers is that a lot of them had experience just not in their current areas, but also everywhere throughout the operation. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully one day being able to shadow, and that also encourages me to bring up the people that I'm currently supervising. So finding out their interests, tying it alongside UPS, and just coming up with them. So yeah. Thank you.
Pierce, he got a perfect PCM, a perfect test score, and the Knowledge Bee winner.
Good evening, my name is Pierce. I work in Wing C outbound, Posse 2 North. I work with David Delph, Andy Hepfinger, and Jordan Garrity. The main thing I think I'm going to take from FSTS is accountability. Not only holding my people accountable, but holding myself accountable to the highest standards of training them and putting them in a better position to not only work effectively, but more importantly, safely. Thank you.
Jacob, he was on the winning competition team.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jacob Watkins, and I'm a frontline supervisor in Building 2. I have the privilege to work with Jeff Sirota, Bob Wood, and Lauren Bond. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys and giving me the opportunity to step in a management role. One thing I will take away from FSTS is that how important relationships is and feedback is with our employees, whether it's appreciative feedback or constructive feedback. It's all important. Thank you.
Nick, he had a perfect PCM and a perfect test score.
Hello, my name is Nicholas Clark. I am the frontline supervisor for revenue recovery covering Wings C and D. I work with Angela Sicarda, Tim McElroy, and John Stoner. I think the most important thing I took away from FSTS was employee communications and relationships. Especially working revenue on a nightly basis, I work with employees and supervisors on helping and critiquing their work process. I think with the tools I've learned from FSTS, I'll be more effective at helping my coworkers understand the importance of revenue and their actions, what it has on our customers and with our company. I think that will lead my coworkers to follow the revenue process and help each other achieve the goals that UPS has set for us. Thank you.
Liz, she got a perfect PCM, a perfect test score, and was on the winning competition team.
Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Frill. Most people know me as Liz, though. I work in the next day grade lane shift in Building 3. On the 4th and 5th belts, I run Shreveport, Little Rock, and Fargo. I work with Steve Merchant, Kevin Stone, and Amber Nunn. And in FSTS, I learned the importance of appreciative feedback, how not only just giving it in person, but documenting it in their Pittsburgh also, so they don't feel like you're just coming after them all the time whenever you come at them with the book, and they know that you appreciate everything that they do. Thank you.
Trevor, he got a perfect test score.
Good evening. My name is Trevor Huber. I work on the next day 911 ramp. Work with Steve Merchant, Curtis Evans, Tom Rossi, and Shane Armstrong. One of the main things I've taken away from FSTS, like connections that I've made, there were a lot of unique people that have come from many different areas. I've loved meeting every supervisor in this class. And considering my whole career has been on the ramp at UPS, just having every supervisor show me that their unique jobs has provided me with helpful information that I can take with me. Thank you.
Javier, he got a perfect test score.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Javier Reyes. I work on the 911 ramp with Steve Merchant, Curtis Evans, Tom Rossi, and Shane Armstrong. One thing that I will keep from this class is the responsibility of helping our people grow and achieve their dreams, because their aspirations are equally as important as ours, and just seeing them achieve their dreams just should fill us with joy. Thank you.
It's your turn.
Colin got a perfect PCM and a perfect test score.
It's all good.
Good evening. My name is Colin Britt. I work in the Next Day Wing B Southwest Unload with Dave Delp, Mike Perkins, and Mark Riley. Through FSTS, I learned about accountability and how it makes all the difference. The crucial act of giving positive, consistent feedback is what's going to set you apart in the eyes of your employees, while also giving legitimate weight to your constructive feedback when you have to give it. And when it comes to holding yourself accountable, you must never forget to challenge and encourage not only your employees, but yourself as well. To take pride in what you do and set a whole other standard for what's acceptable to you. That way you can go out and do exactly what Laura Morris has challenged us to do in our class, to make our area better and to make yourself better too. Thank you.
Matthew got a perfect PCM, perfect test score, and part of the winning competition team. Congratulations.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Matthew Turner. I work in Wing Delta, Posse 3 South, where I load in Ontario Monday through Friday, and Fresno Monday through Thursday. I work with Dave Delf, Eric Haycraft, Tiffany Rhines, and Jason Kendall. What I took away from FSTS mostly was how we should really focus on the methods at UPS. Out in the sort, it can definitely get really hectic every night, and sometimes I've done it, like most supervisors have done it. You let methods slide, which leads to people getting hurt. So what I'm going to try and do, challenge myself, is to go out, make sure I really focus on the methods of all my employees to prevent injuries and keep our employees safe. Thank you.
Dean.
All right, good evening. My name is Dean Hurst. I work in Next Day Small Sort Secondary South 2 Alpha Charlie. I work with Jeff Sirota, Mike Armett, and Tyler Burton. The idea that I'm taking away from FSTS is leadership, specifically the ways to develop my employees. I believe as a frontline supervisor, it is my duty to ensure my employees know all the ins and outs of the job and to eventually have someone to take my place. Thank you.
Sonny. Sonny got a perfect test score and part of the winning competition team. Congratulations.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sonny Foreman. I work in the Next Day South Core C. I work with Jeff Sirota, Mike Sowers, and Jeff Brewer. The most important thing I feel like I took from FSTS was the importance of safety. Whether that's most importantly, getting your people home safe, making sure they they go home the same way they came in, and making sure you do everything in your power to make sure all the flights and all the feeders get to where they're going and all the packages get there safely to the customer. Thank you.
Kelsey, the perfect test score, perfect PCM, and she was a Legacy Award winner. Congratulations.
Good evening. My name is Kelsey Wright. I am an outbound supervisor in Next Day Wing Echo, Posse 5 North. I work with Dave Delp, Shantez Shaver, Jen Peterson, and Chase White. I want to thank all the presenters, along with my fellow FSTS classmates and our presenters, for sharing your UPS story with me. One of the things I will take away from FSTS is that knowing and caring for your people is one of the core things in what makes a leader. I want to work every single night with this saying in mind. People forget what you said, and they will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Thank you.
Aaron had a perfect PCM.
Good evening, I'm Aaron Stone. I'm from the One Day Freight Facility. I work on Mod Y. I work with Nancy Bottoms, Joe Elsner, Jim White, and Lee Bird. First off, I want to thank them for the support that they give me every single night when I'm down there in the operation. Also from FSTS, I took the importance of employee relations. Every single night I try to remember and remind myself from now on to treat others how I want to be treated myself. and remember to put them first as well as the company and make sure they're safe every single night. Thank you.
Brian. Brian had a perfect test score.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brian Pacey. I work on Ramp 6 with Steve Merchant, Lou Wimmer, Josh Dillender, and Greg Ketchum. The thing that I took the most from FSTS is the difference between a leader and a supervisor. A leader invests time in his people. He makes sure that everything is okay, and they take interest in what their people know, and they look out for them, don't put them in any unsafe conditions. A great supervisor is a leader as well. And for that, I would like to thank the two leaders from my area that helped me become a better supervisor, Josh Dillender and Tristan Sneed. Thank you all.
Colin, perfect test score.
Hello everybody, my name is Colin Rawlings. I work in Twilight Procurement. It's also known as Parts. I work with Sam Johnson, George Abel, Shannon Maxey, Tom Tice, and Mike March. The two things that I will take from this class are just how much opportunity there is and how much UPS actually cares for their people. With these two things, I'm going to take it back to my area and try to motivate my people with them and motivate myself on bigger things. Thank you.
Bryson. Bryson got a perfect PCM and a perfect test score.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bryson Bibbert. I work in Import International E-Regs in K9. I have the pleasure of working with Jeff Sirota, Mike Sowers, and Rob Steinberger. What I'll be taking away from FSTS is that we will make mistakes as supervisors. We all made a few in FSTS the last couple weeks, whether it was the role plays or having the wrong answers for the questions. What you do with those mistakes is what counts. When you make a mistake, you need to own up to it, learn from it, and move on. In doing so, we will become better leaders for our management teams. Thank you.
Michael. Michael got a perfect PCM and he had a perfect test score.
My name is Mike Fahey. I work in Wing A Ramp with Dave Delph, Jeremy Retches, and Rommel Ellis. What I really took away from FSTS is how large of an operation we have here at Worldport and how much room there is for advancement here, and how neither of those things are possible without everybody doing their part. Every single crew, right down to every employee, is like a cog in one big machine that is Worldport. If you're not doing your part, then the machine can't run like it's supposed to. And in turn with that, if you're not doing your part and if you're not excelling at your part, you're not going to be eligible for any of the advancement opportunities we have here. Thank you.
Allie. Perfect PCM and a perfect test score.
Good evening. My name is Allie Gullion, and I work in the Next Day Fueling. I work with Dave Barbier, Mike Martin, and Danny Camp. Something I've taken away from the FSTS is a new appreciation for the operations as a whole, because I've only been in fueling since I've been at UPS. Now I have a better understanding of how everything comes together. I also want to say thank you to my management team for giving me this chance in management. Thank you.
almost over. Y'all got past that part. There's a lot of nerves going on, right? Right. It's over with now. So I want you to think about this when you're out in your operation. Think about all the things that your support, folks that are around the room, had to go through to get to the point where they're at. All right? Think about those things. Think about the hard work and the sleepless nights and the trips to Stooges after a long night. Think about those things, because everybody in this room at one point in time has had one of those nights. I can guarantee that. Think about how they reacted after those nights. Go ask the stories, get the history, find out things, because it's not easy. You know, it's not easy, and you have to practice and put hard work into it. I want to say one thing I left out. St. Rita's. I don't know if anybody knows anything about St. Rita. We went out to St. Rita's for a volunteer day, and they had their groundskeeper, 72 years old, and we helped him move 9 classrooms around with about 30 items in each classroom. It would have taken him all summer. These guys did it in 2.5 hours. He's still sending me text messages on how thankful he is that we helped him out. So excellent job, you guys. I'll send you those text messages to let you know he's still thankful, because now he's able to do other things for St. Rita's. So once again, UPS shows how spirited we are in the community. Next, I would like to bring up our closing, the new manager for the Next Day Wing E, Shantes Shaver. Let's welcome him up.
First of all, I realize I'm getting old because I've got kids older than some of these folks that are graduated from FSTS. Mel called a couple weeks ago. You know, I came back to the district, and you know, I was thinking he was calling, congratulations, whatever. He's like, "Hey, you closing?" I said, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You're gonna close FSTS, okay?" And you know, when Mel calls, you just say, "Yeah, okay, Mel, I'll take care of it for you." So here I am. So, on a personal level, I've had the pleasure in my personal life to watch 2 of my children graduate from high school. And when they graduate and they're walking across that stage, I don't know if any other parents here have that same feeling, but you have that highlight reel of those 17, 18 years of that kid, you know, all those things that they've gone through, and you know, you start to get that feeling, you know, watching your child walk across that stage. So as you guys were getting your award, I was thinking back to when I was in FSTS many moons ago. Anybody know Mike Armett? He was my FSTS instructor many years ago. That was a long time. It was before World War was even open, okay? And as you guys were talking, and some of the things you were talking about, some of the things you've learned were some of the exact same things that we talked about when I was in FSTS, okay? You talked about building relationships, okay? Giving PCMs, the partnership, listening. I don't know if you know about listening, but my kids to this day don't realize that a lot of those strategies I used on them, I learned in FSTS. You know, they're explaining to me what they did wrong, and it's like, "Dad, you're not saying anything." "No, I'm just listening. Keep talking. Keep talking." Same stuff that you guys learned in your listening deal, probably. Let the employee talk, and eventually you'll get to the root cause of what the issue is. So these skills that you learned, you just sharpened your toolbox, okay? All these things that Mel and Laura and all these folks who came in and presented to you, all these things you're gonna use at one point or another, okay? There's no secret sauce to what we do as supervisors and managers, okay? All these things we build upon. Year 1, you're good at this. You're not good at that. Year 2, you're good at a couple of things. You may struggle with something else. Year 3, and so on and so on. You're building your skill set, okay? So don't think, like Mel said, don't think you're gonna walk out of here and you're gonna be this perfect supervisor, because you're not, okay? You're gonna have to go through some trials and tribulations, and if you persevere and work through it, you'll be a better supervisor for it, okay? The only thing I can tell you that works for me, that I hope you take with you, is building trust, or have your people build trust in you. Okay? They have to trust you. Now, I don't have the greatest memory in the world. I've had people walk up to me in grocery stores that work here at UPS and they say, "Hey, Tez, how you doing?" And I'm looking at them like, I have no clue who that person is. Okay? But I can tell you this much. If I don't trust a person, I will remember them. Okay? And I think a lot of folks are that same way. So I'm telling you these things because don't be that supervisor that your employees don't trust. Okay? And how do you get your employees to trust you? You know, you guys learn about the 3 C's? What are they?
Caring,
There you go. Caring, credibility, and competence. So, to be competent, you gotta do what? You gotta know your job. You gotta know how to do it. Okay? When you stay at UPS long enough, your present area that you're in right now, you're gonna move to another area. Okay? And when you move to those other areas, you gotta learn those jobs. Because the folks that report to you, they're gonna know if you know your stuff or not, because they're gonna challenge you on it. Okay? So everybody wants a supervisor that knows the job that they're doing. Okay? What about credibility? How you build credibility?
Being honest.
Be honest. Mean what you say what you mean. Okay? Don't lie. Don't make promises you can't keep. Okay? Sounds very simple, but in the heat of the battle that we go in every night, you know, some suits say, "Hey, yeah, I can do this, I can do that." Don't do that because they'll call you on it. Okay? Mean what you say and say what you mean. And the last thing is what? Caring. One of the greatest things that I've learned over the years is you got to show empathy for your employees. Now, something about me, I don't like funerals. I don't like wakes. I don't like to go visit folks in the hospital. And not because I'm scared or anything, it's because I don't like to see people suffer. That's just a personal something about me. I've always been like that. And I had a frontline suit whose father passed away. Very suddenly, tragically. And I went to my manager, I was like, I'm gonna send some flowers and that'll be it. And she said, "No, we're going to the wake." I was like, "No, I don't go to wakes." She said, "That person reports to you. You have to go to the wake." And she went with me, and we went to that wake. And I'm gonna tell you, he really appreciated the fact that his management team showed up for him during his time of need. Okay? He knew that we cared about him. Okay? So I'm not telling you you gotta always go to a wake or funeral, but you gotta show your folks that you care. Okay? You show your folks that you care, you go a long way to building that trust with your employees. So once again, there's no secret to what we do, but you just gotta continue to build upon your skill set. I've had the pleasure of working for UPS for 19 years, soon to be 20, and I can tell you it's a great journey. It's a tough journey. I've had some dark days, but I've had more bright days than dark days. So I welcome you to what we do, and welcome to the UPS management team. Thank you very much.
All right, that concludes our graduation. You guys are now partners, and I welcome you to the biggest fraternity in corporate America, UPS Management. That's it. Have a good one, everybody.
Can we stop?